Yeah, if you have a broken pencil, maybe you need some assistance with your drawing, you need to exit, whatever it may be, just raise your hand nice and tall, keep it up in the air, somebody will come around to help you out. But do keep it up, because if you just go like this, you're not going to know what's going on there. It's kind of like that guy. Now, if you do need to exit at any point, definitely not a problem. We want to exit the same way you came in, up the stairs. Oh, thank you, Nana. Through one of the 3 doors at the very top there that's going to lead you back out to the courtyard. All the other doors are going to lead you somewhere awkward, so you definitely want to go through one of those 3 doors, give those a great big push. Now, is this anybody's first time at the Disney Academy? Okay, great, great. Well, for those of you that have never been here before, this is a rough sketch class. So what we're doing is learning how to draw a portrait of one of our characters, really light and loose because you don't have erasers. And then we'll go back and lock down the portrait that we want to keep, and let the other stuff fade into the background. So we're just drawing the head of one of our characters. Does anybody know who we're drawing? Shout it out.
Marshmallow.
Oh, snap.
Close. Yes. Yeah, was it?
I accidentally did
Oh, it should be. Yeah. Yeah, because we're backwards now.
Right.
Yeah. We draw like a snowman. That's all I know. All right. So we're going to start out with a whole bunch of really light, loose lines. Tons of them.
Marshmallow.
And keep this super light. Again, that way you can always adjust them if you want to. So I'm going to start out with a whole bunch of circles. The first one being about the size of a ping pong ball. Again, use your whole arm for this. It naturally does that circular motion. This is where his head
From Frozen, the big scary snowman.
Okay. We got
Yeah.
How big is this?
So now, you want to cut this in half from top to bottom. So as a straight line.
Right up there. Look at the projection.
Just going right through this circle here.
Oh, sorry.
And pass it a little bit as well. Now, his eye line is a little bit above the bottom of your circle there. So I'm just going to add in a straight line. That's where his eyes will sit. And we need a way larger circle than the one that we have there to create that really big chin that he has. So I'm going to start sketching out a circle that's really large. It's going to sit right underneath this. It will look like a really funny number 8. Like really awkward number 8 there. Get a whole bunch of these lines in place. This is going to help us to build up that really opened up mouth that he has. He's going to have a really big roar. And his chin as well. He could be smiling too, but it really seems very roarish.
Whatever. So lopsided. Whatever.
It's okay, it's a sketch.
So we'll start creating his eyes. His eyes are oval shaped. They kind of look like Agent P from the Disney Channel. So I'm going to start creating what looks like Mickey Mouse noses, basically. On either side of your line here, go ahead and sketch in a couple of oval shapes. And I'll do the same thing on the other side, just a couple of these. Now this guy has a really big brow ridge, which means that his eyebrows are pretty thick. They kind of cover past his eye. So I'm going to add in what looks like a check mark. A little curve on the inner eye here. And you're going to swipe across with a line that just goes past it. So it's literally just a check mark there. Now if you do the same thing on the other eye, that's going to help create that brow ridge for him. You may shave off a portion of his eyes, and that's definitely all right. But you do want to lock down whatever's left below that. So I'm going to outline portions of the eyes that I want to keep for this guy. And this is a good time to adjust. So maybe one side's too big or one side's too small. As long as you open it and you do it if you would like to. So you've got those eyes in place, but he needs a thicker eyebrow ridge. So we want to add in what looks like a candy cane shape, where the hook of the candy cane will go around the outer edge of your circle, and the longer portion will just point right down in his eye to help create that ridge. That's going to give him that thickness for those eyebrows. So I'm going to add in this little hook here at the edge of my circle and pull that line down. Kind of like Sully from Monsters, Inc. there. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. And don't worry if one side is a little bit too bigger than the other, maybe it's taller, it's definitely okay. Now the top portion of his head is a lot more flat than what we have right now. So you're going to shave off a portion of his head with just a straight line. So go from side to side at the very top of your smaller circle and add in a bit of a straight line. And, of course, darken the curve on either side down to his eyebrows. That's going to give him that squared head since he's kind of half ice, half snow. Now, since his mouth is opened up really, really wide, he's going to have his cheeks poofed out. We need to create a couple lines to help him for that. So, at either edge of his eyebrows here, you're going to bring down these sloping lines, kind of like a playground slide, where it slopes out and down, just hovers right above your circle on either side there. And I'll do the same thing on this side, just really lightly until you want to lock those down. Now, if you bend those lines down with another one that just drops onto the circle, that's going to create the corners of his cheek. And this is where you can start choosing whether or not you want him to be villainous by adding in sharper edges or a little bit more softer.
Oh, I understand.
Kind of doing his job in this. Now, his teeth are 3 upside down letter U shapes. So I like to think of candy corns, basically. They're kind of connected together. They're going to sit right between his cheeks there. So I'm going to add in this upside down letter U shape here. There's 1, 2. And you'll have another one come out from either side of that, just sitting between either cheek. So I'm going to add in another one here. And one more right over here. But of course, he does need smile lines. He does smile, or they can just be, the lines that are pushing up his cheeks. So look at the curve of your circle from either end of your tooth and just bend the line down. It's going to point at the cheek there. And do the same thing on the other side. So it's going to give him an upward push on those cheeks. And unlike Olaf, he doesn't have a carrot nose. He has a nose ridge, which is just a curved line, kind of like a stretched out letter S shape from the corner of his eye, and it points right at his smile line there. It's going to give it a little bit more of a nudge on that snout line. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Now, the more lines you add on these guys, the more creepy he looks. So you can definitely add in a couple more stretched out lines, like to add in some letter U shapes, just to give him some depth into those eyes, since his eye sockets. Really get people's. All right, so you're about halfway done. How are you doing? Okay, good. Awesome. All right. All right. Well, let's continue on then. This guy, his whole jawline is pretty square. He's a confident character, like Tigger, Sully, Buzz Lightyear, Gaston. No matter if they're a villain or a good guy, they have square jawline. We like to call them lantern jaws for a confident character. So we're going to follow the direction of our circle, but carve it off with some straight lines to give him more of a square jaw. So from his cheek, it's going to follow the direction of my circle with a straight line going down, and then following it going in. So it kind of looks like the side of a diamond. And I'll do the same thing on the other side, from his cheek just going down, carving into that circle and in.
It needs a little
Now, whatever's underneath that, go ahead and darken in the curve of your circle. Right now, it kind of looks like a toad, a really weird toad. But this guy has an underbite. Olaf has a really, really big overbite. This guy's teeth actually pulls up and out, and they're kind of curved.
I agree.
So you want to think of shark fins or really big blades of grass. You can make them super sharp if you want to. He does have 2 layers of teeth, the snow and icicles, when he gets super angry. And however high you put these teeth, that's how wide open his mouth will be. So if they're really down here, he's going to be like super mid uproar. So he's going to be like up here, and he'll probably look like he's about
don't look
to
at
roar.
this.
So wherever you like
No,
to
it looks
start
good.
his teeth,
It's better than
keep
what I
one
would draw.
side, add
Give
in
you
a little
props.
bit of a sharp fin, so it's kind of crooked. So it needs to look exactly like this. And then I'm going to swoop across.
This is
just
actually a
little
hard
bit of
drawing.
dip, kind of like the curve
So
of
much
the circle
detail.
on the bottom.
There's his teeth,
And
or his chin.
add in a couple
Yeah.
more teeth. So this one can be crooked,
Oh, this teeth.
another one can be pointing inward and wider.
I don't realize how complex
Totally up to
marshmallow
you.
is.
You can even add in a little tiny baby tooth, like he never lost that one. But once you get those, lock these down by darkening them in. And we'll use 2 curved lines to close off the sides of his mouth. They're basically like the sides of a circle or a parentheses line that will start from the top corner here and curve down onto the teeth. It doesn't necessarily need to be in one particular way, but that's going to close off the mouth on either side and push those teeth up and out. So from that corner, I'm just going to bend this line down. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. Now you have a lot of negative space in his mouth. There's a whole bunch of whiteness on there. So you want to shade this in with the side of your pencil. It works nicely as a crayon. You don't get all those scratchy lines. It doesn't need to be super dark. You just want some contrast in there so you can see those pearly whites. So just quickly shade in that back portion of his mouth. Now, because we're shading this in super lightly, the The reason why is because his eyes should be the darkest part of your drawing. That's really the focal point. So you really want to make those eyes stand out. They glow blue when he's angry, so go ahead and shade those in a lot darker than the back portion of his mouth. This guy will be out at our Freeze the Night party today if you want to go see him. He's pretty cool. Alright, this is pretty much all there is to it. Now you're welcome to add in some Mickey ears if you want to. You can add an Elsa hair. You can add an Elsa crown. It's really small because the head is not ginormous. So that's just a little diamond at the top, and of course 2 squashed letter V's on either side. That will create his crown because he finds that at the very end. He just falls in love with it. Now there's one more thing that you do want to do, and this is super important. Find a spot somewhere on your paper, nice and proud, sign your name. Because you now know how to build your very own marshmallow. Alright, so how do we do?
Nice.
Yeah! Alright, so let's have an art show. Even if you're not done yet or you're not so sure about your drawing, on the count of 3 we'll have you turn over your boards and take a look around. Everyone has a different style, okay?
Hey guys, show it over here.
1, 2, 3, marshmallow! Great job. All of those teeth over here, really great job.
We got this going on, something like that. I'm not really sure.
Over here, guys. Over here.
Octopus arms, kind of cool, right? Really great job with the front row here. Great jawline with sharp teeth. I've seen some very happy and some very crazy looking marshmallows, like he's about to eat something. Really great job with the back.
Hey, Ellen.
What do you think?
Ellen, show yours.
I agree, they were great. Give yourselves a round of applause. Now these drawings are awesome. They are for you to keep. These are your souvenirs for the class. We would like to invite you for our next class, which will be learning how to draw Olaf. I'm going to give my marshmallow to you because you did such a great job. Thanks for drawing with us. Now, we hope you have a wonderful day, everyone, and class is dismissed.
Nice.
Have a round of
legit.
applause for your artist. Yeah! Woo! Thanks so much for joining us here at the Animation Academy. Before you go, think you're please find
Dude, Gary, yours is like a beast, man. That looks legit, man.
If you wish to
It's so legit.
Thank you for joining us and have an activated day.
Okay.
Dude, man. Dude, yours is legit. Dude, man.
That way.
Oh, that's right. Because it was frozen.
Taking some paper home. Yeah, I'm going to.
Oh, yeah. Eileen, show yours. We're exiting out that way.